Hello everyone, I hope you all are well and fine. In today's video lesson, we will study chapter 5 from History of your main course book Social Science. Okay, when people rebel. The year 1857 CE is considered to be a turning point in the Indian history. In this chapter, you shall see how the events unfolded which ignited the fire of independence and nationalism among the people who were already feeling as if they were driven against the wall due to the oppressive and exploitative policies of the British. Yeah, students, the uprising of 1857, any colonial government would choose to introduce policies which are aimed to dominate and impose their hegemony of the populations. They would set out terms which would exploit and extract the maximum from the soil and the people of the occupied territories. So, was the case with the European power who had occupied the Indian territory, while the others power like the Portuguese and the French had little standing. It was British who had the largest share of the territories under their control by 1857. As you saw in the previous chapter, there were simmering of discontentment, classification, distrust and distress among the people due to the oppressive and exploitative policies of the British. The situation was building up and it was a stack waiting for a spark to burst into flame. And this was done by the introductions of greased cartridges by the British as ammunition for the rifles used by the soldiers. Okay, let's see the run up this critical situation and then the revolt as it unfolded. Yeah guys, the rebellion of 1857 was the result of discontentment among the different sections of the society against the British oppressive policies. The causes for the rebellion of 1857 can be categorized as yes, political causes, administrative causes, economic causes, social and religious causes, military causes and immediate causes. Economic causes, the British had drained India of all her wealth and natural resources by selfish economic policies. For example, the taxes collected by the government were utilized by the British to pay them salaries. Political causes, Lord Dalhousie's policy of annexation and the doctrine of plebiscite had made the Indian rulers angry and insecure. He said that if kings died without a natural heir, then the kingdom would be annexed by Britishers. The Muslim feeling had been loudly heard when, after the death of Bahadur Shah II, Lord Canning took away legal titles and Mughals palaces. Okay, thousands became unemployed when the English under Lord Dalhousie annexed Oudh. Social causes, the practice of sati was abolished, widow remarriage was encouraged, child marriage was not allowed, and interference of British in Indian social custom. Okay, common people did not appreciate change in social custom, westernizations brought about by the British. Religious causes, a major cause of the outbreak of the revolt was the fear among the people that the British government was determined to destroy their religions and convert Indians to Christianity. Military causes, low salary, highest post given to Indians was Subedar, No special allowance was given. They were forced to take place for fighting outside the country. It causes introduction of the Enfield rifles in 1857 to train the Indian soldier. Use of greased cartilage made from the fat of cows and pigs. This hurt the religious sentiments of Indian soldiers and they refused to use these cartilage. Okay, when Indian soldiers were forced to use them to revolted against it. The first protest again using the greased cartilage raised by a soldier by the name of Mangal Pandey. He belonged to the 34th Infantry Station at Barakpur near Calcutta. Okay, he refused to the use of cartilage and was subsequently hanged on 24th April 1857. Some soldiers stationed at Meerut also refused to the cartilage. Yes, on 10th May 1857, these rebel soldiers killed their British officers, released their imprisoned comrades and hoisted the flag of revolt. This was official beginning of the Great Indian Uprising of 1857. The soldiers then set off for Delhi. On 11th May 1857, they reached Delhi. Here, the local infantry troops joined in. The rebels seized Delhi and declared the Mughal Emperor Bahadur Shah Zafar as the Emperor of India. He wrote letters to all chiefs and rulers of the country to fight against the British. The news spread quickly to the other areas and people stood up in rebellion against the British in different parts of the country. Yeah guys, spread of the revolt. The main centers of the rebellion were Jhansi, Kanpur, Arrah and Awadh. Jhansi, Rani Lakshmibai is considered to the greatest leader of the rebellion. After the death of husband, she became the regent of her 5 years old adopted son. However, the British refused to recognize the right of her adopted son to the throne. She was helped by Tatya Tope. She fought gallantly, but Jhansi was captured by British and she died while fighting on the battlefield. Hazrat Mahal. Begum Hazrat Mahal was the leading spirit behind the uprising in Awadh. She was helped by Muhammad Ullah Shah, a Maulvi from Faizabad. The Awadh forces beside the Residency and Lucknow, but after a sub-battle, Lucknow was recaptured by British in March 1858 and the Begum escaped to Nepal. The uprising was led by Nana Sahib, the adopted son of Bajirao II. He was successful in expelling the British. He carried on the fight with British and was assisted by the trusted general Tatya Tope and other official Azimullah Khan. So they fought bravely. Kanpur was captured by the British and Nana Sahib refused to surrender and escaped successfully to Nepal. Yeah guys, Kunwar Singh. The rebellion was led by Rajput Zamindars Kunwar Singh in Arrah in Bihar. He led the movement in Awadh as well as central India. He was successful at many places in Bihar but died fighting a fierce battle against the British in April 1858. Yes, Bareilly. Bakht Khan led the rebellion at Bareilly. He continued fighting till he died. Yes, suppression of the revolt. British army feed Delhi. The epicenter of the revolt. Bahadur Shah Jafar was tried and sent to Rangoon. His children were killed. The control of Delhi and impressment of Bahadur Shah Jafar broke the backbone of the mutiny. Lucknow was recaptured in 1858. Rani Lakshmibai was killed and Tatya Tope was captured and hanged to death. Causes of the failure of the revolt. Okay. The revolt was localized and was poorly organized. The British had better resources and generals than the rebels. The revolt was feudal in characters and lacked nationalist elements. The leaders lacked military skill and the native princes did not join the revolt against the British. Yeah guys, impact of 1857 rebellion, end of company rules, end of Mughal dynasties, policies of befriending princely rulers, recognition of Indian army, renewed trust on divide and rule, start of Kalapani, transportation of freedom fighters to Andaman Island. Okay. Nature of the rebellion. The British termed it as the Sepoy Mutiny. British writers call it a mutiny as it was started by the soldiers after the introduction of the greased cartilage. Okay. They are of the opinion that it did not have the mass participation by the people and they did not demand independently. In fact, according to them, it was confined to few parts of the country only. It was a feudal fight and the leaders had selfish motives to resign their powers back. Okay. On the other hand, the Indian call it first war of independence as both Hindus and Muslims took part in the revolt. Even the sannyasis and fakirs carried the message of freedom as secret emblem in the form of lotus and chapatis from one place to another. The rebellion and spread quickly to large part of the country. Millions of Indians took part in the revolt. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru considered it was more than a mutiny and according to him is assumed the character of a popular rebellion and the beginning of the war of Indian independence. Okay students, this chapter is over.